What is happening? I am Minnesota Vikings man 28, and today we're going to be talking about the XFL. The XFL kicked off last weekend, and week 2 is about to begin tomorrow as we speak. And I want to give you my thoughts on what I thought about the XFL after the first weekend, and what to expect going forward for the XFL and its future. So let's get into the rules quickly, because that is the one thing that the XFL has really tried to capitalize on in terms of differentiating their league from the NFL. So let's get right into it. So kickoff right over here. The kicker kicks from the 30-yard line. He must kick the ball in the air and play between the opponent's 20-yard line and the end zone. The coverage team lines up on the return side of the 35-yard line, and the return team lines up on the 30-yard line, so 5 yards in between each other. And then each team must have exactly 3 players outside the hash marks on both sides of the ball, etc., etc. Okay, and out-of-bounds kicks fall short of the 20-yard line will result in a legal procedure penalty, taking the ball to the kicking team's 45-yard line. So already, that is a major penalty. And honestly, the kicker, if you can't kick it to the 20-yard line of the receiving teams, yeah, you really shouldn't be kicking. To the 45-yard line of the kicking teams. So already a first down will gain you field goal range. And the player can move when the ball is touched by the returner, or 3 seconds after the ball touches the ground. And then that's when the official waves his hands down. Okay. If the ball is kicked into the end zone, is down a major touchback and is placed on the 35-yard line instead of the 25-yard line in the NFL. If the ball is inbounds and then goes into the end zone, it will be placed at the 15-yard line. So that one right there gives incentive to return it, because unlike in the NFL, if it bounces and then goes in the end zone, it will be at the 25-yard line. It used to be 20-yard line, then they moved to 25-yard line to incentivize not to return it. But in the XFL, they want returns, and they have been getting a lot of good returns. None of them have gone for touchdowns, but a lot of very good returns in the XFL that I saw. So, let me see. If the player on the return team touched the ball and it goes out of bounds, the ball is spotted where it's out of bounds. Onside kicks are the same, except there is no surprise onside kicks because, of the new kickoff rules. So, yeah. Let me see. Oop. And point after touchdown. And by the way, what I think about the kickoff, I like the kickoff. Honestly, good returns. And I like the return game. Not many returners doing it like today. Only maybe like Cordell Patterson, some others are returning it. So I want to see more returns. So I like this from the XFL. So point after touchdown. You can go for 1, 2, or 3 points. From the 2, it's 1.5 is 2 points. 10 is 3 points. I've been seeing a lot of people go for 1. From the 2-yard line, just rushing it in, or just doing some type of pass attempt from the 5-yard line. I've seen a little bit of that, but not really from the 10-yard line for 3 points. I think that's more in desperation mode. So, yes, I like this, and it eliminates the kicking extra point. But I do like kicking field goals, which they kept. So, the punt. It's supposed to incentivize teams for going on 4th down. Of course, unless you're very backed up. Punting team cannot release past the line of scrimmage until the ball is kicked. Gunners must line up at the line of scrimmage and are permitted to move laterally once the ball is snapped until it is kicked. And let me see. If the ball goes out of bounds inside the 35-yard line, is a major touchback and the ball goes to the 35-yard line. If a punted ball lands in the opponent's end zone or goes in the end zone, the result is also a major touchback and it goes to the 35-yard line. So really, you're moving that ball up instead of the 20-yard line, 35-yard line. So that's 15 extra yards for the receiving team. And then fair catches are permitted, but they shouldn't be unless it's a very short punt. there's no need for fair catches. So I like it. Same thing with the kick return. I like returns, like punt returns. Really enjoyed, Marcus Sherrills when he was with us, returning punts. So I want to see more punt returns. Double forward pass, something I don't think I've seen. I didn't watch all the games in full, but I did not see a double forward pass. I saw like a forward, and then a backward, but not two forward. So simple enough. You can do 2 forward passes, but both of them need to be behind the line of scrimmage. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Overtime, just like a penalty shootout in soccer, I'll just explain this. So they'll have 5 rounds going back and forth. Each team will have the ball. And from the 5-yard line, it'll go back and forth 5 times. If they're still tied in terms of successful conversions after 5, it'll just go to a shootout. If one team scores and then one team doesn't, the team who scores wins. So I like this too. Both teams get the ball, and get to show who is the better team. So, and of course in the NFL, it's just whoever gets the ball first, which I don't mind the NFL overtime, just because, if you can't stop them, you don't deserve to win. But at the same time with this, it's sort of a combination. You sort of get to show both sides, so I'm good with this. 25-second play clock. Do not like this. I do not like this. Sloppy plays that can happen from this. 25 seconds not enough time. 40 seconds I think is a little bit too much time. So I would rather want a 30 to 35 second, not like something like 32. I know 32 would be the even middle ground, but I want either 30 or 35 seconds. That's just my opinion. We know the comeback. Okay, so the comeback period on plays and in the field of play after the 2-minute warning. The game clock will be stopped until the ball has been stopped. 5 seconds have run off the play clock. I like a good comeback. Good rule. So, yes. Up-tempo game clock. Okay. And timeouts. 2 timeouts. No. I want 3 timeouts. That's just my opinion. I wanted 3 timeouts. Just because, coaches really like to say the 3 timeouts to the end, and there's 4 down. There's 4 downs, but you like to use all 3 timeouts just to use them. So I know about the combined with the opportunity to come back. So I think if they had 3 timeouts plus the opportunity to come back with how the clock is structured at the end of 2 minutes, then that would be good. Anything else? Oh, yes. I like that they can communicate. That they hear the communications between the ref and the replay official. I do not like the hearing what the coach has to say. Really, not so good. Because I like to think their own strategy. And I don't understand what they're talking about. But other coaches will be able to pick on from other teams. So don't like it. Don't like that. But I like to hear the transparency between ref and replay official. And 1 foot in bounds makes a lot of sense. I like it. Have to have control. Dedicated ball spotting official makes it faster. Very good. Coach-player communications, excellent. And I think that's until the play is snapped. Simplify illegal man downfield and shorter halftime 10-minute break. Seems good to me. Maybe make it. I don't know, what is it right now? Is it 20 minutes? Maybe just do 15. I don't know. So 8 XFL teams are the Seattle Dragons, DC Defenders, LA Wildcats, Houston Roughnecks, Tampa Bay Vipers, New York Guardians, St. Louis Battlehawks, and the Dallas Renegades. Now, I watched the Seattle DC game. Probably the best game out of the 4, which was the first game. So this is the only full game I watched. All the other ones was either like a first half or a second half. But, really like a lot of these teams. Of course, if I'm going to pick one, who am I going to pick? And I am going to show you that right now, and that is the St. Louis Battlehawks. Yes, I know geographic location had a lot to do with it, but I like this team. They beat the Dallas Renegades 15-9. Let me just see. Very defensive oriented team, lower scoring against Dallas Renegades, similar to a Minnesota Vikings team. Even though we do have a little bit, in terms of offense and defense, looks like St. Louis has a very good defense, just like the Vikings. In terms of their offense, could be, worked a little bit more, but Jones, definitely, and I don't know how to pronounce that, but, oh no, that's the quarterback. Never mind. But, yeah, St. Louis, I like them very much. So, I am choosing them to be my XFL team that I will follow. So, what do I think about the XFL? I think it'll do better than AAF. It'll last longer. At least, I don't know how many years. But, could be, a way to get people in the NFL. So, very excited to see how long, this will be sustained, but definitely a year or two. But Vince McMahon has the money, so it's going to survive at least this year. So, we'll see. And good luck to everyone, and see who will win the first revamped XFL championship. This has been Minnesota Vikings Fan 28, and as always, Skol.